Okay, this game is Karpov versus Gik, played in 1968. Karpov was only 17 years old at the time of this game. It's a very exciting Sicilian dragon game. The Sicilian dragon is named because of the formation of the pawn structure, with a kind of fire-breathing dragon at the bishop, which can be very dangerous on this diagonal. What makes the dragon particularly interesting is that usually both sides will castle on opposite wings, and this leads to a very dynamic, exciting battle. With this Queen A5 move, Black is often later playing Knight E5 to C4 as a plan, and White is often trying to just play H4 and G4 and rip open this king position, maybe with Bishop H6 thrown in to weaken the dark squares. So it's a very violent opening, the Sicilian dragon, and you should really know a lot of theory if you want to play this with Black, because you could end up with being mated on this H-file. Here Black played Bishop D7, and Karpov played aggressively and thematically with H4. Now Knight E5, so you see these themes being played now. Black's going for this C4 plan, which usually robs White of this strong attacking bishop here. In this game though, this bishop later played a very important role, so it wasn't used to capture the knight on C4 as we're going to see now. So H5 is very thematic. Now Bishop H6, another thematic move, trying to weaken those dark squares, and Black obliges here. Perhaps Black could have considered maybe Bishop Bishop H8 actually could lead to disaster. Can you see why? If we have a quick look at Bishop H8, maybe just Rook takes H5 here, with the idea that G takes and Queen G5 check is horrible. Because let's have a quick look at that. This is a disaster, because White actually wins the Queen, quite amusingly. So that's why that is a disaster. But my analytical assistant seems to think Rook takes C3 is an interesting idea here. So we've got a complex position here. You know, what's going on? Let's not get too involved in that though. But there's another fascinating idea here after Bishop H6, which my assistant actually says would give an advantage to Black. A shocking move, actually. Can you see it? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knight D3 check. So if Queen takes D3, Bishop takes H6 check. And if King B1, then maybe this is a very complex position. But let's have a quick look at Knight takes B2. If Bishop takes H6, takes G7 here, then Knight takes D1, so that's very unpleasant for White. And if King takes B2, instead of Bishop takes G7, then Bishop H6, and this Knight is a liability. So this may have been very interesting for Black. King B1, Knight F6 maybe, unless there's a crushing win here. But maybe, you know, this Queen can defend later on this diagonal. So that's a very interesting continuation with Knight D3 check. Anyway, the opponent obliged and now played an exchange check, which is quite thematic in the dragon. Karpov took, so we've got a very, very sharp position again. Now Knight E2. This is very interesting. The Knight's rerouting to F4 here later on, as we're going to see. G4 and now G5. Now this exchange sack has been played by the legendary Fischer a lot against the dragon, and now here Karpov played it as a teenager. It's one of the ideas is that this G pawn is liberated for G6, which can be very dangerous often. But Karpov is even bravely allowing this Queen E3 check. So he plays Rook H1, allowing Black to invade his position seemingly, even with material. And it isn't completely clear at this stage, you know, where the attack is. Okay, there's the obvious Rook takes H5 here, with Queen H7 coming. But if it's not mating, and Black made an escape square now with the King, so if Queen H6, Queen H7, King F8 to E7, if it's not mating, then you know, Black's going to have a great game here. But here there's a brilliant continuation by Karpov. He plays g6, yeah, and the pawn can be taken three ways. Obviously this is the worst way, queen h8 mate, but the opponent taking with knight takes g6, you know, he must have thought, where is the danger? And this is quite an amazing resource found. After queen takes h7, king f8, white gains a big advantage here with a very, very nice tactic. Being able to see these fine resources in the position can often separate the strong club player, in my view, from a very strong club player, or, you know, an IM. Can you see an amazing resource here? You have to look quite with a microscope, almost, you know, considering different candidate moves. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Karpov played the stunning rook f5. Beautiful tactic, because the bishop's still there on that diagonal. If e takes queen f7, mating, and you know the queen and f7 are now double tacked, so black has to give up material. He plays queen takes b3 check, which at least gets a rook and bishop for the queen. And now knight f4 is played by Karpov, another brilliant tactical move. If knight takes f4, then queen h8 check and just win that rook, I think, would be the strongest continuation. Black played rook d8, and now after knight takes g6 check, or queen h6 as played, white's still got the advantage now, because there's an other element coming to play. This pawn is becoming dangerous after e takes f5, so the smoke has cleared. Karpov with queen against rook and bishop is material ahead. Pawns are equal, but this pawn is decisive as well. Black can't really set up a blockade. This pawn is now winning, and here black resigned. But it was a very sharp Sicilian dragon battle, featuring a very nice exchange sacrifice. But I think the most stunning resource didn't occur, which was knight d3 check here, with the idea of knight takes b2. Any player wanting to play the dragon should bear this tactic in mind. Beautiful tactical idea, because if queen takes d3, bishop h6, but he didn't play that, and after losing, you know, that dark squared bishop, you know, black got in trouble because of some fine attacking chess, g6, as the preliminary, which opened up this rook f5 possibility, and then the stunning rook f5. So it was a superb dragon win by Karpov as a teenager. Exciting stuff.